Hello and welcome back to another episode of Toy Therapy. I'm the host of Toy Therapist, aka Matthew Grant, and today I'm going to do a list of games over the past decade. A couple of my friends, like Simon from Finger on Plastic, has did a list of 2019 games. I found that a bit difficult to do because I haven't really bought many new releases last year. I only bought like a handful. I had one as a present, which I will talk about on my list. So nothing really majorly new I bought. So I thought I'll do games over the past decade. This is almost like a top 20. So, but at the moment I just want to but with quite a few mentions in this as well. So, I'm just gonna talk about the games I really did love over the last decade. So it'd be like a top 10, but it's not really a grouping of top 10. But I just mention that sort of stuff. But anyway, first game, which I really did enjoy because I love Red Dead Redemption. I love Red Dead Revolver. Love the series. So Red Dead Redemption 2, love that game with a passion. It's so good. When I first seen the first trailer, because I remember playing the original Red Dead, and when I seen it, I was literally, my mouth just went, huh? We're getting this as a game? Loved it. Loved interaction, loved the crafting, loved the gun mechanics. Played the online, thought that was okay. Need to give that a bit more of a go, but I did enjoy that a lot. So that is one game which I still play even now. If I just want to just wander around and do a bit of hunting or do a bit more crafting because I want to can get all the suits, this is a game we're playing now at the moment with the new DLC is coming out very shortly to extend the online. I'm gonna give the online another go, so really get on with that, and hopefully I can play along with a few of my friends who've got the game as well because they really do enjoy the multiplayer. But anyway, next game. This is a bit of a cheat. It's the Mass Effect, because Mass Effect 2 came out in 2010, so that's it in it. Love Mass Effect 2. Love Mass Effect 3. A lot of people didn't like the ending. I didn't mind it. It was quite logical. But I will put Mass Effect 1 in this as well. Like I said, it's a bit of a cheat. Because these games I played to death. I loved the multiplayer on number 2 and 3. Loved the multiplayer. And I met a good friend who came to visit me back last year in October. As well, a good friend of mine came to visit. That was really good. Good chance to put a face to the name. That was awesome, and I played him on this game, and we become good friends, which is good. That's what gaming should do, really. Basically, it should bring you together, and it does bring together as well. All these geeks and people who love the games and different genres and stuff. It's the same with gaming, same with movies, same with comics. It just brings you together. It really does, and I loved the first one as well. Plus, when you played the first one, the influences the choices that you made impact the second game as well. So when I found out about Rex, because Rex didn't survive in my first game, when I found out Rex can survive in the second game, I replayed the game and brought Rex into it, and that it just changed the game for me. Really did change the game. So I enjoyed that mechanics. There's not many games that do that. So yeah, Mass Effect. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Massive Zelda fan from the Super Nintendo and the N64. I'd never played it on any of the Game Boys or even when they released extra games on the Wii U and all that. I didn't really play them. I've got Legend of Zelda. I've got the Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time for my 3DS because I love the games that much. I got on my Raspberry Pi machine as well, so I love Zelda. I really enjoy those games. And then when I seen Breath of the Wild playing and the graphics, because I'm a massive sandbox fan, it's going to be a bit of a trend at the moment with my list. When I first seen I had a quick go of it, I went, I have to have a Switch. Got myself a Switch, and I haven't looked back since. I adore this game. Now my partner's playing it, and she's a bit stuck, and she's enjoying it, but she doesn't want to do the extra DLC content because it's a bit too hard for her. She's not a hardcore player, a gamer as I am, but what she's played of it and seen through her eyes and her reactions were great. So that game just, I played through it twice now, and I'm going to have to do it again at some point because it's a really good game to play. Really enjoyed it. Next one is, like I said, another cheat. You might see a couple of cheats in here at the moment as well. So Transformers 4 for Cybertron and 4 for Cybertron. Two great games using the Unreal Engine. Loved them with a passion. When we had I missed out on the games on the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 at Marder and Beast World. I missed out on those. So I didn't get a chance to sort of play those games. But then when they made the movie games for the 360, I thought give them a go. They were absolutely diabolical. I hated them. Finished them, shelved them, gone. I just wanted to just get through it. And it was painful. Really painful. And then the War for Cybertron and 4 for Cybertron came out. Literally transformed me again to being such a fan of these games, of the Transformers in gaming. And glad I got a chance to play them. Really good story, very compelling story, good character development, great graphics, and plus being on Cybertron. Amazing. The only game I remember being on Cybertron was on the Spectrum. Side-scrolling leveling game, and that was hard. That was really, really hard. And plus, the transforming as well. That was superb. The characters, everything about it, loved it. Then they done the Dark Spark. Awful. They just blended two games together and it just didn't work whatsoever. But what then came out then, years later, or maybe a year or two later, was Transformers Devastation. First time I played it, I didn't give it credit. Then I was a bit lost on the loose end. I needed to play a game for a bit. Thought I'd give that game another go, and I went, actually, this game is a brilliant game, and I'm glad I gave it another shot as well, because I completed the game, really enjoyed it. It just reminded me so much of the G1 cartoon nostalgia as a feature episode, which was great. Absolutely great. So I'm glad I gave that game another go. That is just a couple of those little mentions of the good and the bad from the Transformers games. But War for Cybertron, 4 for Cybertron, like I said, bit of a cheat. Loved them. And they're my top 10. Next one is Star Wars Battlefront 2. I enjoyed the first one a lot. There was a few not bugs, but a few little problems, like the spawn camping and the power-ups as well. We had to find the vehicle icons and go in the vehicle and so on. I didn't like that as much. I like to see the vehicles and so on, like it was on the PC. Loved the PC version. Loved number 2. On the PC, Battlefront 2 on the PC. Really enjoyed those games a lot. It didn't have the balance what I wanted from the PC version until number 2 came out. Battlefront 2 came out, and that game used like a point system. The other one used like a power-up system where if you collect certain things, you can power up certain abilities and so on. That was a bit annoying because if you again starved of those power-ups, it is difficult to use those power-ups as well in a main battle. So I didn't like that. It just didn't quite work for me. Then you use the more points you use, you can upgrade your card or level it up and so on. You can use your cards as perks, and same with you calling in vehicles in as like a support for that battle. Really enjoyed that. First of all, it was a bit one-sided. If someone's really good, they'll get all the power-ups and they'll get all the vehicles and they'll get the most kills, and that was a bit annoying. And then you got to use the cards system as well to your advantage. Once you work that out, then I just literally started flying. I started again to be above average player, and I would say I'm a good player. I'm not in the top, I don't come in the top 10, but I come close to it as well. I don't play very often, as much as I would like to, but back last year, that's all I played. It was so good. And plus, with the microtransaction problem they had when it got released, and then they redeemed themselves well by giving away content as well. They gave away loads and loads of map content for it as well, and extra modes and so on, which was really good as well. They just gave back to the community. And then they done this celebration pack, or at least back last year, by November time, for £21.99. It's been like 22 quid, and you get more maps again. So I thought, hey, they give us so much to us, let's give a bit of money back to them. So I've got myself that, and I love it. I can't wait to be playing that some more this year. So, because it's one of my games I'll be playing a lot of this year. But like I said, I thought I'd mention number 1 and the other games, because one for them, we wouldn't have this. Star Wars, sorry. Battlefront 3 onwards. Love the PC versions. Love Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2, as well as the updates as well with 1942 levels and Vietnam. Loved Vietnam. That was so good, so much fun. Really, so much fun. And for the consoles, I was coming back to the consoles because I wasn't really playing much on the PC as much. Then I was back on the consoles again. There was no real Battlefield game coming out. Then I did more almost like a modern combat type version of it, and I just didn't work at all. Modern combat or combat modern, I can't remember what it was called. Absolutely died on the 360 until they released, like I said, this is my mention, Bad Company. The first Bad Company is outside the decade, but Bad Company 2 is where the multiplayer really sort of was their staple and their base for Battlefield 3. Bit of a shame we're not going to get another part of the story to Bad Company because I really enjoyed the characters. Really enjoyed Haggard. He was such a funny character. It was almost like the A-Team, basically, you know, in as a group. So if you haven't played those games, play the story. You will enjoy the story. Lots and lots of fun story and really good mechanics that was used for the DICE engine, or sorry, not DICE, Dyson Frost engine, which was used then for Battlefield 3. So you can tell this was a test for the multiplayer as well as getting ready for Battlefield 3. And then Battlefield 3 come through, just like with Battlefield 2, had a really good story. Battlefield 1 didn't have a story. It was more like prepping you for the multiplayer, which was kind of boring. But yes, so Battlefield 3 onwards, I'm playing Battlefield 5. Love it. Absolutely adore it. I love Battlefield 1, but Battlefield 5 is a nice blend. It's like a good go-between. So that's my game as well. That's running there for me. Battlefield 3. Not Battlefield 3. Sorry, Battlefield 5 and 3. Just a nice blend of those two. Next one. Because I got myself a Switch. I talked about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Mario Odyssey. I didn't have a Wii U and I never played Mario Galaxy, and I heard that was phenomenal. I didn't want to buy a console just for one game, one or two games, so I thought, like I said, I waited out, and hence the Switch. Made the right decision. Love my Switch. It's a good sort of pick and play system. You can pick up and play, just take it around to my friends' houses and so on, so I can play it on my. I don't have to use a TV. I can use my screen. Great. But Mario Odyssey, oof, what a game. Great story, great graphics, great platforming, great puzzles. And like I say, it pays so much homage to Mario 64, and I loved Mario 64 with all my heart. I am playing that again now at the moment on my Raspberry Pi. Loving playing that as well. I just love doing the special moves, and I just love everything about that game. So Mario Odyssey is one of those games where it's taking Mario to another level again, and I just love that whole sandbox type levels. Just love them, and Mario Odyssey just really ticks so many boxes for me. I wanted to play a Mario game for such a long time, and when I played Mario Odyssey on my friend's Switch before I bought mine, these were the games. These are the two games I really wanted on when I bought my system, and I bought my system back in March 2018. Never looked back since. Absolutely a good console. My partner loves playing on my Switch as well when she gets a chance to, when I'm not on it, when I'm on my Xbox or my PC or mainly on my PS4 at the moment. So yeah, so such a good console, such a good investment. If you haven't got a Switch, switch to the Switch. Next one. This is another type cheat because I really wanted to incorporate another love of mine as well, and that's Halo. The game came out in 2010. There was two games that I loved out of the whole franchise of Halo. Loved Halo 2, but that's outside the decade. Halo Reach, just on the decade. Halo ODST, just outside. So as you can see, Master Chief Collection. They've been releasing the HD versions and the remake versions of it. Oh my god, they not reinvented the game, but they made the game look beautiful from the original Xbox and to the 360 to the Xbox One. you're getting quite a lot of games, and just back a few months ago they released Reach for it, and Reach is one of my favorite games next to ODST. Not because you're not playing a Spartan in it as well. You're not playing Master Chief. You're playing a different group of Spartans, and this is all to do with the Fall of Reach, which was a prologue to Halo Combat Evolved, about the whole story, not the whole story of Cortana, but how Cortana became to be. Such a great game, and I played Reach again and ODST recently, and for me, it still holds it holds itself. It really does hold its own, even up until Halo 5. I loved Halo 5. There's some elements I didn't like in Halo 5, but overall I enjoyed Halo 5. I'm playing through on Legendary now at the moment, and it is the most hardest Halo game I have played on Legendary. Absolutely solid. It's what you want in a game. You want a challenge, but I like to play all the games in Legendary. I play it on normal, then go straight to Legendary, and I just literally just get through it. This is the one game which I've literally just almost like, you know what, rage quit, throw my pad across the room. I can't deal with it. I'm just going to do that as and when I can. I'm going to pick it up when I feel that I've got, how can I say, I'm in the zone. You need to be in the zone, and you need to be switched on, so I'll give that another go. I will get that finished at some point. Next one is GTA 5. I had a lot of fun with this one. I like the whole element of buying property, playing the stock market. I love the characters as well. Game was not overly all that long, but I made it last. The story, the little side bits they put in it as well. Trevor, love Trevor, absolutely adored him. His little business as well, with the whole drugs dropping and so on, and using the buggies and using the planes and so on when you open up, because the whole map is all unlocked. That's a good thing about the game. It's not like the first one, you start on a small island, and as you do certain things, certain parts of the island will then open up. Because I would have put in Vice City, but that's not in a decade, because this, next to Grand Theft Auto 5, I loved 4, but 4 was a bigger game when it comes to story and content, but it just didn't have the characters. It had the Battle of the Gay Tony, that was amazing, and Lost and Damned, that was amazing bit of DLC. But I think what incorporated all of that and the mechanics from the past couple of games with buying and selling, like with Vice City and all that, and stock and that sort of stuff, stock market, and playing the nostalgia with Vice City, with Scarface and that sort of thing. Grand Theft 5 just did that just a little bit better. And like I said, I thought I'd mention those other games because we wouldn't have had Grand Theft Auto 5. Like I said, love 4, but 5 was just that little bit better when it comes to characters. And I literally had some really laugh out loud moments because it was such a laugh, an absolute laugh. And how they made the money and the doing the crew and so on, and how you plan your heists, superb. I want more. I want some DLC for this. I really do want some DLC, because we have DLC for the other games, most of the other games, especially number 4, but none for this. I know they got the online, so they don't have to do it, but I didn't think much of the online. I just didn't really click with it. Bit of a shame. But as I mentioned, LA Noire, such an underrated game. Such an underrated game. It's not as big as the other Grand Theft Auto games, but they did put so much more in it too when it comes to the character development and so on, the crime scenes. So if you like Grand Theft Auto, you've never given LA Noire a go, give that a go. You won't be disappointed. It's such a lovely game to play, and it's quite forgiving in some ways as well. Next one, another cheat. This will be the last of my cheats. This is Batman of the Arkham Collection. Okay, I know the other games came out in the last decade, but the first one didn't. But when they did the HD version of it, I just thought I can still easily incorporate this into my list. The Batman games was just so much fun. It made superhero games better. We had the Spider-Man games beforehand, we had other Batman games, but this one just really focused on the combat and the problem solving, and it was so much fun. It made you feel like Batman. And then, because at the moment I got myself a VR, I play Batman VR, even though it's like a 30-minute sort of like tech demo, but that makes you feel like Batman as well, working out the crime scenes as well and the problem solving. So if you got a VR and you got a PlayStation 4, pick that up, because it's, even though it's 30 minutes long, it's worth playing. But I loved all the Batman games. I mean, there was one game which was not quite great, and that was the one before Batman Arkham Knight. I think, Arkham City, I can't remember the name now. They made a few changes. I mean, the whole mechanics were great, the city was set up was great, but they made a few changes in the characters and they didn't quite work. It was more like a prequel in a way, and I gelled with it really well, but I didn't like certain elements of it. But I still enjoyed the game as a whole. Still put a lot of time into that game as well, so I really enjoyed that. But the one game I really put a lot of time and effort into, which was Arkham Knight. Some people didn't like the Batmobile scenes, the Batmobile bits. I didn't mind it. I quite liked the racing around and shooting down and shooting down the bad guys with the cars as well, and the end bit as well. I didn't mind that. A bit frustrating, but I still didn't mind it. But the Batmobile became like a tank and so on. But I did like the elements of the problem solving use the car as well. That was something different. I really did enjoy. I still got more trophies to get on that, so I need to get back on that and try and do some more trophies for that. But yeah, enjoyed that a hell of a lot. So that was loads of fun. That is the top 10. Okay, to the other games I'm going to talk about now, these are more just mentions. Okay, which I wanted to be in the top 10, but I felt like I just couldn't really sort of put them in. So I just have a quick look, just because these are just ones that I really played a lot as well. Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4. If it weren't for the Batman games, we wouldn't have a game of that caliber. I mean, I love my Spider-Man games. I really did enjoy them. They had ones where you with the Venom and you had the other superheroes on the 360. I had that on the 360. I did enjoy that a lot, but there was some elements of that it just didn't quite work. But because of Batman and the whole upgrading and leveling up and the because you just level up your moves, your strength and so on. This, you more or less just leveled up your equipment and as well as your moves, which allows you to do different things. This, for me, was the game that really sort of blew it wide open for Spider-Man. That's all I'm going to say. Great game, great story, great graphics. And I played it for over a couple of months. I finished it. I got nearly 100% of the game because I played it so good that much. It was so good. Blood and Truth. Okay, on VR. Love my VR. Good gangster, good shooting. A bit linear, so it tells you where you want to go. You have slight movements where you want to go, but a great shoot 'em up. A really good great shoot 'em up. A really good gangster sort of like type film shoot 'em up. Really good. Fallout 4, that almost made it in, and I'm still a bit kicking myself now. I put a lot of time into that game with the add-ons. So much fun game. Loved every minute of it. Fallout 76, it's a bit different. I'm still trying to get my head around that, but Fallout 4, I could not literally put that game down for such a long time. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I love my Assassin's Creed games. You can see a lot of sandbox games. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the whole thing with the boat, the sea shanties and so on. I love that. Such good graphics, diving in the water, it's proper swimming. Love everything about that game, and I still play that even now on the odd occasion if I just wanted to sing a sea shanty. Bit of fitness sort of thing. Creed boxing on the VR. I love my VR. Love my boxing films. I love my Rocky. I love my Fight Night. This was the one I just thought really get into. Enjoyed so much of this game, and it's a lot of fun. It's just really good action as well. Depending on how you box and so on, it does mimic you really well. So that is good. Gears of War collection. I like my car-based shooters. Love my Unreal Engine. Love the whole story. Multiplayer number 1, which was good until people started working out the little hacks with the rolling shotgun. That just turned me off. But then number 3 came out. That was really good. The mechanics for the multiplayer, and 4 and 5. Really enjoyed it. I love the horde mode. It just keeps on giving you something more to go back to. And that is a testament of a good game as well. Jedi Fallen Order is what I'm playing on now. Had it for Christmas, just finished it. Loved the story. Never played Dark Souls, and I heard it's very Dark Souls. I had to knock it down to a level. I did find it hard, but as a game, really enjoyed it. Can't wait for number 2. Can't wait to see more of this game. So, can't wait for that. Skyrim on the VR, playing it on the HD version on the Xbox, and I'm playing simultaneously on the VR. Enjoyed both versions. So good games. The VR is a bit weird at first. You have to point and all that sort of stuff as well. I have to try and use the navigation thing as well. Give that a go. But as a game for the VR, it screams VR for me. It does scream VR, and it is superb for the VR. And last but not least, put a bit of classic in there, Sonic Mania. So much fun from a Sonic game. I have not enjoyed a Sonic game since basically since Sonic 2. I just haven't really enjoyed the Sonic games as much. Playing on the Dreamcast, did play them, did enjoy them, but going back to side scrolling, and it's really hard as well. They made it tough. Me and my girlfriend are still playing it out. So yeah, that for me is my list. Those are my games. There might be some games that you might like. There might be some games you might not don't like. At the end of the day, we all like what we like. There's been some fantastic games. I know there's some games on a PC. Like I said, I'm not much of a PC gamer anymore. I just prefer my consoles because I just sit down after work, have a bit of a play for a little bit, just boot up a game, quickly play, and then put it down. That is my life now. It's just pick up and play games. That's for me at the moment is where I am with gaming. I might say in the new year or next year, I might get a new PC, but I'm not in a big rush. I got Disney this year. I got a couple of conventions this year. I got TF Nation this year. Hopefully I get a chance to meet Peter Cullen as well. And a friend of mine's going to do a favour to get Frank Welker's autograph as well. So loads going on. I'm starting my channel up as of from now. You'll start seeing some more content. Wrestling figures. A bit weird as well. There was no wrestling game in there, but there's been no real wrestling games I really sort of think as being as good as No Mercy, NWO and 2000 on the N64. There's been no real games because I've played those to death. But I do like the new wrestling games, but there's been nothing really so grabbing me at the moment. Hopefully now as well the next couple of weeks, me and Simon will be locking as well for Supremacy, as well for the next predictions video. We got Royal Rumble come up at the end of the month, the 26th. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love the Royal Rumble, so is my partner. So we'll be watching that as well. So now you start seeing some more content come out from it. So I do apologise if I take a bit of a hiatus. There's the whole copper thing, and that's what I'm thinking at the moment. I will do my channel. I'm going to assess it in the next 6 months or so to see how well we'll do with views and subscribers. If I'm not really doing that well, I might just knock on ahead, but I'm going to see how I go for a while. But anyway, this is Toy Therapy Sound. Until next time, you take care. Thanks for watching. You take care. Bye-bye now.